Welcome to the agenda after a disappointing loss against the Saints, but 9 days to regroup for the big ANZAC Day clash against the Bombers. With me from the Herald Sun is Jay Clark. Jay, the big question, does Daniel Wells come straight back into the Collingwood side?
Absolute no-brainer for mine, Chris. So Nathan Buckley just simply has to play him on Tuesday against Destin, 100,000 people. He's got the experience to cope really with the occasion. Look, we're going to talk about this through the show in terms of Collingwood's ball use, what really broke down in the forward half of the ground, Chris. But Daniel Wells is arguably the best ball user in the AFL. So he is here at Collingwood. He's had one run around the twos, played 75% game time. They need him using the ball into the forward half.
75% of one game. Didn't play in the JLT series.
Yeah.
He's underdone. He's not fit. Surely he can't be match fit to come into what is an absolutely critical match against the Bombers.
Midfield coach Scotty Burns said yesterday, or said on Sunday, that they nearly played him against the Saints. So he's almost ready. Yes, he didn't set the world on fire in the VFL, but he's just got to play, Chriso, because if you're worried about his injury history and all that, then don't recruit him in the first place. You know, we know he's got the exquisite ball usage.
So we're going to have Jamie Elliott, who was underdone against the Saints, and Daniel Wells. It's a massive risk, Jay.
Yeah, and if it blows up on the MCG, if that pings his calf again, you'd want to hide under your desk. But I think he's got to come in.
I want to talk about the Saints and the effort of what...
Where was it, Chris?
Well, it was non-existent, particularly in the third quarter. It was embarrassing to a degree. Last week, or the week before against Sydney, 115 tackles. Yesterday against St Kilda, 56. That is a massive difference. That is incredible. So, and what was even worse yesterday is that St Kilda had 31 more tackles, yet had 27 more disposals. I mean, that defies logic.
So why is that? When Collingwood fans watching that at home, they're thinking, why can it be so up one week and then drops to the next?
It comes down to one word, and that's just attitude.
Really?
Just attitude. And the fact that you've got to have the mindset to put the work in. We were outworked, particularly in the third quarter against St Kilda. And to be honest, St Kilda kicked 4-5 to 2-1. They probably should have been a lot more further in front at three-quarter time.
Is that on the coach? Nathan Buckley's name is going to come up. Is that on the coach?
No.
He doesn't have him wound up or not?
No, it's not about the coach. It's about missing targets. It's about the attitude. It's about the work rate.
You put it on the players.
You can't have the coach run out and actually do it for you. All right, well, let's move on because I want to talk about the situation with Brodie Grundy. Now, he's been one of the shining lights.
He's been outstanding. I'd say he's the All-Australian ruckman. Now that Max Gawn's out of the picture, out injured with a serious hamstring injury, I've been so impressed with Brodie Grundy. He's a 23-year-old ruckman. He's been outstanding the whole season, but against St Kilda, he absolutely gave it to Tommy Hickey, and that's what's part of the disappointment of the game against St Kilda. Collingwood won the clearances, 40-22, won by 18, Chriso. That's a lot. And that, for me, that's a lot to do with Brodie Grundy. He had a career high, Chriso, 17 hit-outs to advantage. So while we're all talking at the moment about the value of the ruckman and the third man up rule and wide player ruckman, that sort of stuff, Brodie Grundy is showing the value of an A-grade ruckman. And he gave, I think, the midfielders, the on-ballers in particular, an armchair ride in there. Taylor Adams deserves a tick for his performance as well, but Brodie Grundy, I think, has been absolutely outstanding. Pick 18 he was.
He comes up against Matthew Leuenberger against the Bombers. He needs to put another big one in.
Well, there's a trump card for Nathan Buckley straight away. Surely in that ruck matchup, that gives Collingwood a big advantage. The on-ballers, however, need to make the most of this, Chriso, and use the ball better. But to Brodie Grundy, I say well done.
What are we going to do about our forward line?
Well, Nathan Buckley put it on the agenda yesterday, said that none of the forwards have looked dangerous all season. None of the forwards. Elliott, Fasolo, Moore, again, tell me, Chriso, what do they do with Darcy Moore? He's the face of the forward line.
I think they've got to persevere. I would love to have someone...
Does he look lost? Does he look out of confidence?
He looks down on confidence. See, one of his great strengths has always been his kicking for goal. But he's lost his confidence kicking for goal. I reckon, and confidence is a minute-to-minute thing. I think they've just got to persevere. He is the star of the future. We all know that. They've just got to persevere. What I think more is the problem is the way the ball's being moved into the forward line. It's not really giving our forwards an opportunity. I don't think there's really any flow particularly when we get put on the back foot and get frontal pressure. There's no flow, there's no fast play into our forward line that really give our forwards an opportunity.
Jesse Watt's going to come under selection pressure as well. The time is right to play Josh Dacos, right? Jared Blair out. He tries hard, Blairy, but he doesn't have the talent of Josh Dacos. He's very strong in the VFL at the weekend. I know Bucks, it's a tough one for him at the minute. He's a kid, and he's his first year. He's got the ball use, the deft touch, the feel. Yeah. Josh Dacos has got to come in for his debut versus Eston.
What a romantic story that would be. ANZAC Day with Josh Dacos.
Nothing against Blairy, but the time's come.
Let's get on to our Monday moments. And my Monday moment, well, this was one of the few highlights. And Tyson Goldsack, well, this is one of the great chase-down tackles that you will ever see. You can see him in the picture, started about 12 metres behind Webster, got through the Webster flimsy shepherd, and then ran down Armitage. That was just inspiring. And, of course, that was into the third quarter. We're only 7 points down at that stage, and I thought that might have been the inspiration.
He's been good, Goldie.
Alas, it wasn't. No, he's been great.
Yeah, after injury interrupted season.
What about your Monday moment?
Well, I've gone for Big Henry Shade. He was the man of the moment last weekend against Sydney, but he got the job done on this occasion at the other end of the ground. So the game's almost lost at this point. Nice handball from Penderbury. Henry Shade comes up the ground, and from 55 metres on the left foot, boom, that's a goal. And at that point, look, there's a nice little tap on the backside there from Penderbury. Some of the boys get around him. I wouldn't mind a bit more celebration there from Collingwood, but on a day when goals were rare, well done, now, Shady.
Just a few seconds after that, Will Hoskin-Elliott ran in from 40 metres. He kicks that goal. The margin is just 10 points.
Too little, too late.
Who knows? Could have been different, despite all the disappointment of the day.
Job needed to be done the second and third term. Now the media pressure is going to be on Collingwood again. Will this fire the Magpies up? Do they need to rely on this sort of media talk to get them up? Because last weekend was a real disappointment. Chris, but you've been good today.
Absolutely. Well, so have you. But look, we're looking forward. ANZAC Day. Huge. It doesn't get any better.
Dacos,
and a must-win game for the Magpies. Maybe Wells, maybe Dacos in. That's all I've got time for on this week's edition of The Agenda. We'll see you next week.